S. Grant. On our tour, we will be showing you different artifacts that represent different events in his life.
Before we begin, we'd like to remind you, please turn off the flash rate cameras and avoid touching the exhibits.
We would also like to remind you to please turn off your cell phones, or set them to silent or vibrate.
Well then,
let's begin!
Ulysses S. Grant was born April 27, 1822, in Georgetown, Ohio. He attended West Point Military Academy, where he was just a plain average student, but he got into trouble quite a lot of times. While he was there, he changed his name from Hiram Ulysses Grant to Ulysses Sam Grant, just so people wouldn't call him Hug, which would have been his initials. Here, you have his diploma. After graduating from West Point Military Academy, he went on to work at the Jefferson Barracks for the military. After the war broke out between Mexico and America, he became a lieutenant, rank 2. Here we have him as a lieutenant.
Sure. That's a good one. After the war, Grant was forced to resign because he was found drunk at a soldier's pay table once. Here we show a picture of Grant's family. This is Grant right here sitting in that chair. Wouldn't you say they make a great family? Something you might not have known about Grant is that he was actually quite a family man. Even though that sounds a bit strange coming from the person who said, I can lose 2 men for one and win the war still.
In an age where fathers were typically literally manhandling their children, Grant was very different. Grant married to Julia Grant, and together they had 4 children: Frederick, Ulysses Jr., Ellen or Nellie, and Jesse Grant. They lived a hard life trying to farm until the Civil War.
Ooh, what a workout. The Battle of Belmont was fought on November 7, 1861, Mississippi County, Missouri. Grant took his men down the Mississippi River to the Confederate fort at Belmont, Missouri. Unfortunately, the Confederate group there scattered and reorganized at the bigger fort across the river in Columbus, Kentucky. The Confederate group then proceeded to take fire on the group, leading to a loss for the District of Cairo. The Battle of Shiloh took place in southwestern Tennessee. It was between General Grant and Confederate General Albert Sidney Johnston. It was considered the bloodiest battle of the Civil War, ending with Grant victorious and the Union gaining in Kentucky. At the Battle of Vicksburg, Grant and his forces surrounded the Confederate fort of Vicksburg, Mississippi. The Confederates were forced to surrender, splitting the South even more than it already was. The Civil War ended on May 9, 1865.
By the end of the war, General Grant has earned 5 stars, but he earned 2 stars when he became a general.
And this is the Battle of Vicksburg.
After the Confederate attack on Fort Sumter, President Lincoln called for 75,000 volunteers to put an end to the secession. In Galena, Illinois, the town recognized Grant's military experience and put him in charge of the town's brigade. After showing his value, he was appointed as colonel by Richard Yates and later brigadier general by President Lincoln. Grant's brigade, the District of Cairo, later went on to fight battles such as the Battle of Belmont, the Battle of Shiloh, and the Battle of Vicksburg.
These are some photos of letters that Lincoln sent to Grant. Lincoln sent Grant letters about his military actions. Initially, he was angry with Grant because Grant disobeyed some of his orders during the war. However, Lincoln later apologized because the actions Grant took during the war helped lead the war to victory. Throughout the war, Lincoln and Grant developed a deep respect for each other. Lincoln saw that Grant was a strategic genius, and Grant saw that Lincoln was a great leader and great president, and he respected his ideals.
Yeah, he did. This is a copy of Grant's famous book, First Memoirs of U.S. Grant. He wrote about his experience in the Mexican-American War and in the Civil War. At the time, he wrote this to provide for his family after going bankrupt. It was an instant success, and it generated approximately $500,000 US, selling at $3 to $12, depending on the binding. The book was published by his personal friend, Mark Twain. It was very unique to the time because it was concise and factual without any bias. He died 5 days after he finished writing it.
This is Grant's gravestone. Grant died on July 23rd, 1885, from throat cancer. He was very popular, so his death was felt all over the United States of America. There was a 30-day period of nationwide mourning to honor him. Grant was memorialized by having statues of him erected all over the United States and having his face put on the $50 bill. Grant was a great general, great family man, great president, and he helped shape the U.S. how it is today.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah!